Tum, 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 tum. Am I live? Yep, I am. Hello, everybody. So this is something that I plan to do for a while. Playing video games and read them. What do you mean, read video games? Well, reading video games is something that I approached a few years ago during my PhD thesis, my PhD project, which was about apocalypse in survival horror video games. So what I did a few years ago was playing video games and picking up all these symbols related to apocalypse, search them thoroughly or as thoroughly as I could, and then explain what was going on from a point of view of a narrative structure in the video games. Now, it's been a while since I did that, and what I'm talking now is from memories. Okay, I forgot a lot of content. It's been a while, since 2012, 2014, something like that. Okay, so I'll do this with some of the old video games that I played, but also with the new versions of these video games. And I also try to apply the same approach to other types of video games like Bloodstained, where I found to be a lot of content, a lot of apocalyptic content. So let's try to have a brief view on the narrative that is presented here in Bloodstained. You see a castle there. There's a castle, and that castle is where the action takes place. Okay, so you have a player that will go through the castle, and literally the castle represents the Inferno as Dante Alighieri coined, or like depicted and described in his Divine Comedy. Okay, so what do I say that? Well, let's have a brief look at this. Well, in the Divine Comedy, Dante Alighieri, he goes to describe the Inferno, the Purgatory, and the Paradise, and I'll try to find a map for this. Inferno, Dante Alighieri, and I think we can see some images that show us the structure of the 9 circles of hell, if I remember correctly. Yeah, should be 9 circles. Okay, let's have a look at this one. Okay. Dum 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 dum. Any of them would work. Okay, this one is an old one, if I remember correctly, because I've seen those maps. Okay, a guide to Dante's 9 circles of hell. As you can see, we start from this point here, which is the human world, our reality in a sense, with Dante Alighieri's reality, and we go deeper through hordes of demons from limbo to the circles of hell. There are circles of hell, and here at the bottom is Satan. Satan should be upside down at some point. From this point, Dante will just go up until he reaches the Purgatory. Okay, so the first circle is limbo. The second is the circle of lust, gluttony, greed, anger, heresy, violence. So basically all these circles are physical places depicted by Dante Alighieri in the Divine Comedy, but also they are related to some human flaws, psychological flaws, or as you may put it in Christian terms, in Catholic terms, sins, right? You did something that is motivated by anger, then it's a sin, because anger in itself is one of the 7 deadly sins. And fraud. The last one is treachery, is the deepest circle of hell where Satan resides. As with the last 2 circles, I'm interested in this particularly for our video today, because it's about traitors. And in this circle, we have the biblical Cain, because he betrayed and killed his brother, right? Antenora, who betrayed the Greeks, and we have Ptolemaeus, who is known for inviting Simon Maccabeus and his sons to dinner and then murdering them. Okay, so is this duality between, you gain somebody's trust and you backstab them in order to fulfill your selfish purposes? Okay, so we have here Judeka after Judas Iscariot who betrayed Christ. Okay, so it's also Judas there, right? The one who betrayed Christ and sold Jesus. And of course, this is a very religious background that Dante Alighieri points out, but not only Christian, because Dante has Virgil, the ghost of Virgil, as a guide that leads him throughout the whole journey and protects him during his journey in the Inferno. And Virgil actually is more than just a simple guide in the Divine Comedy stories. Virgil represents actually Dante's inspiration for the Divine Comedy, which is a pagan mythology, and that means Roman mythology, but also Greek mythology, and more than that. So this is important for our close reading game session. Why? We will see very soon. Okay, so let's begin the game. Not from the start, but from the end, right? We will just play the end of the game. It's been a while since I played this game, but I will try to beat it again and explain some of these symbols and mythologies that work here or are employed here. As you can see, there's a statue where you can save the game. Looks like a cricket, right? Like one human figure with a mask on and two horns. Now, it is to be remembered that actually the horns, before Christianity, they represented power. Okay, so think about Alexander Macedon. He was depicted with two horns. He was also coined as Zulkarnain, meaning the one who has two horns, but that was also because he was the conqueror who united the West and the East, or the entire world. Okay, and it was believed to have a dual nature, like the earthling one and the sacred one, and so forth. But we won't discuss about the Alexander the Great now. Let's look at the winged demon with six wings, right? 3 pairs of wings. And this is a good question about the origins of this creature. If it was inspired from somewhere. I'm not sure yet. It's just the place you save the game. Now, the main character of the game, of the story, is Miriam. She's Miriam, okay, cosplay, whatever. She has some familiars, like the Caribous, the one that flies next to me, or next to Miriam, right? We tend to identify ourselves with the characters of the beginning, right? The avatars. All right, so let's enter per se the last stage of the video game. As you can see, everything is icy here. Why eyes? And look around. Okay, as you can see there, there is a red demon caught in ice, and that demon caught in ice really looks like Satan. I mean, like, it has two horns, has two bat wings or something like that. It's very muscular and strong. Okay, it's like you can and is naked. Okay, so shame on you for not dressing up. Okay, so why is this connected, and how is this connected to Dante Alighieri's Inferno? That will be a question to be asked. Well, let's look around, and there it is. Okay, so in Dante's Inferno, I need to search for another picture here. Okay, that explains the map. Okay, and maybe this one is a good one. Okay, burning forever with metals, cappuccino person. Cocytus, frozen lake of lamentation. Okay, that's where we are at this place called Cocytus. Okay, Cocytus is in the 9th circle of hell. It's a frozen lake and it's very close to Satan. Okay, as you can see, Satan here is really depicted as a wind creature with 2 horns in a humanoid shape. Now you can see that it's chewing some people here, right? That's because one of them is Judas, and there are 2 others, Cassius and Brutus, chewed in Lucifer's 3 mouths. Okay, those are the most sinful person according to Dante Alighieri, right? Judas, he betrayed Jesus, so he's the worst. Then you have Cassius and Brutus. Brutus is the son of Caesar, so he's like the son who betrayed the father. Okay, he conspired and backstabbed his own father, right? And of course, this sin as a worse sin in Catholic, from Catholic point of view, right? Okay, so here we have the frozen lake, or Cocytus, and I would like to see if Cocytus was depicted in any famous works of art, Cocytus paintings, to see if basically the game inspired from some of these sources. Okay, so as you can see, there are some links here that shows us Gustave Doré painting, for example, Frozen Cocytus. You can see Dante Alighieri. Not this one. Oh, yeah. Okay, so here Dante Alighieri, Dante, well, the character Dante from the Divine Comedy, right, from the Inferno, with Virgil. The one in blue is Virgil, and Virgil leads Dante through Cocytus, which is a frozen lake. As you can see, there are people here caught in the ice, and Gustave Doré is the one who actually paints this lamentation. Okay, those people who cannot move, frozen there, and also somehow paralyzed, like unable to move, suffering in cold and somehow loneliness. Okay, so that's why it's called lamentation. Okay, when you lament, like you cry, right? You cry, but your tears froze. So actually, the act of crying provokes pain. So you have these frozen tears that provoke pain, and ice that cuts through flesh and tortures the poor souls who are there. Now, as you can see, we have the same motives here. Those frozen demons, obviously they are not happy. Okay, you can see them like trying in rage to do something evil, but they cannot because they are frozen. Okay, and this is the point where we actually meet the main opponent. Well, it's actually, of course, one of the betrayers, and that is this lady. Let's have a look. Okay, so she's half demon.
So even Gremory has failed me. Alfred was afraid of what you could do with the shards, but not I.
Dominique. Okay, who is Dominique? Well, Dominique was the person that hired Miriam to cleanse the castle because she pretended to do the good work, right? To abolish evil from our universe, because this castle appeared there due to some mistakes. You know, the people who had spiritual power or the alchemists, they did some mistakes, and they created this opportunity for evil to burst into the world. And evil, like a disease or like a corruption, will spread if it's not stopped. And well, people of faith like Dominique here, because she represents some kind of church. Okay, everything is somehow inspired from Catholicism. Okay, so Dominique here, she has blonde hair. She looks like an angel. Her parents were dead because they were killed by demons or something like that. And she's the one who wants to stop whatever malefic forces brought that castle of evil into our realm. However, it turns out that she's the one who's plotting everything because she wants power. Alright, so let's hear her.
Look at you. Is that what you wanted? The crystal? You betrayed us, Dominique.
As I said earlier, the betrayal is an act that by Dante Alighieri was actually coined and connected to be something very, 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 very evil and very bad, and was situated because of this in the ninth circle of hell, which is the one for the traitors, and that place is Cocytus, more exactly, the frozen lake, as we can see here. And I want to, yeah, this is the map. I'll just open it again so we can see it one more time. So, okay, so we have the ninth circle of hell, where we can see the traitors. So betrayal is the worst sin according to Dante. I repeat this over and over again because I believe it's important for our story, the story of the Divine Comedy, and also those literary works and later on movies or video games that inspire from the same source. Okay, frozen lake of lamentation, where the traitors supposed to be. So, as we can see here, Dominique in the video game is a traitor. Okay, you betrayed us, Dominique. She's accused to be a traitor, just like Judas, just like Brutus, who betrayed his father. Like, she betrayed her friends, and she betrayed basically humanity because she sold humanity for power, apparently, but that had a reason. Okay, a reason why, because actually Dominique is guilty of something that is more Luciferian than a simple betrayal. Let's see what it is.
Oh, don't think me ungrateful. I have you and Johannes to thank for teaching me the alchemist's lore and how to control the shards.
Okay, so alchemy is mentioned. What is alchemy? It's an ancient art of transmuting lower matter, low form of matter, and purify it and somehow raise it to a more spiritual form of existence, which is actually the bed of many spiritual paths and you may say religions. I mean, like you can think about Christianism that has all the relics, right? The Orthodox or the Catholic, they have all these saints, even Tibetans. Why they don't decompose after death, and why is that important? Because this shows that through spiritual activity, somebody can win over mortality. This means that if you practice something spiritually, your flesh will not decompose due to spiritual practice, right? So alchemy is something similar in the sense that, well, they seek the philosophical stone, right? All these alchemists in the past, and this was seen as a metaphor for spiritual development and basically for controlling the flesh. So the main idea of alchemy would be something like you practice this and that, or you ingest something, then you gain immortality. Okay, so it's a common topic or theme in many fairy tales and mythologies, and also religions, right? We have this idea of doing something in order, like stealing something that belongs to the gods, or stealing a secret, or going there, or do something, or be granted something that will give you immortality. So it's the victory over death, and it's the only thing that matters if you think so, because otherwise, anything we do is for nothing. And this is exactly the drama that brought Dominique in his place in our video game, right? Because she seeks to find this alchemist lore, right? She seeks to find the power that will grant her immortality. And does she find it? Well, first of all, we will go to Google what alchemy is, so you can we'll see some of this things, because I'm not Googling thoroughly. I think this information is so transparent. I'm a little bit redundant with my explanations, but this is what I like to do. So okay, alchemy is an ancient branch of natural philosophy, a philosophical and proto-scientific tradition practiced throughout Europe, Africa, China, and throughout Asia, observable in Chinese texts from around blah blah blah. But let's go to Wikipedia and see etymology. Okay, what is the etymology of alchemy? All right. The word alchemy comes from Old French alchemy, used in medieval Latin as alchemia. This name was itself brought from the Arabic word alchemia. Okay, this is Arabian, composed of two parts. The late Greek term chemeia, we have chemistry from this, right? Hemeia, also spelled kumeia, and chemeia. Okay, and the Arabic definite article of, meaning the chemistry somehow, right? Together, this association can be interpreted as the process of transmutation by which to fuse or reunite with the divine or original form. Several etymologies have been proposed for the Greek term. The first was proposed by Zosimos of. This is not very important, okay? What's important here for my explanation is this definition: the process of transmutation by which to fuse or reunite with the divine or original form. Okay. Others trace its roots to Egyptian name Keme, meaning black earth, which refers to the fertile and auriferous soil of the Nile Valley as opposed to the red desert sand. According to the Egyptologist Wallis Budge, the Arabic word alchemy actually means the Egyptian science, borrowing from the Coptic word for Egypt, Keme, or its equivalent in the medieval Bohairic dialect of Coptic, Keme. The Coptic word derives from Demotic KMI or something like that, itself from ancient Egyptian KMT. The ancient Egyptian word referred to both the country and the color black. Now, this is important to realize, a little bit important, right, for our explanation here. Egyptian black art. Okay, so, okay, black land, red land, the colors in alchemy are very important because they represent stages of this transmutation or transformation. So basically, through alchemy, literally, they wanted to transform some metals into something else, and well, ordinary metal into gold. They wanted to become rich. Okay, but that's just one way of interpreting it, because we have the other part of alchemy that doesn't refer to physically ingesting metals or any substances or poisoning yourself, whatever they did, but seeing this as the basis for metaphors. Okay, metaphors for a spiritual or more psychological practice. So this psychological practice involves techniques, sometimes things like meditation or other things that will allow you to transmute the emotions inside yourself and become happy and eventually reach immortality, in the sense that you can actually move this ability, psychological ability, onto flesh, which is something that what was that term? We have this effect on our bodies, psycho. No, it's a lapsus. Okay, so the psyche affects the body, meaning that our emotion have physiological responses. Okay, so basically this happens from a scientific point of view. The way we feel affects our bodies. We can get healthy or through placebo, right? Healthier. And through depression, we can get sick, right? Physically sick, because the way we feel, the way we think may lead to some types of action that may doom us in a way or another, in the sense that we create these patterns of behavior that will not help us in the end, but provoke something bad that will lead to sickness. And the opposite of this would be alchemy, in the sense that, okay, you brainwash yourself, somebody else does that, right? So through this process of positive brainwashing, you move from negative thinking to positive thinking, hence NLP today, right? Neuro-linguistic programming. And from this mental rumination of the positive thought, you gain confidence. Okay, so you somehow infuse yourself with positive thinking that will lead eventually to a better behavior and will lead to a better life, more positive and healthy life. Okay, so somehow, ideally, this process in alchemy was seen as capable of unlock the doors to immortality. Well, it's one of the beliefs. It's always good to be optimistic. Why not exaggerate? So if this is possible or not, I don't know, because I didn't reach it. But that was a thing that in the background, that the narrative background for our story in Bloodstained. Okay, so is this alchemist lore and how to control the shards in the story? Let's see more.
Shards, I might add, which you gave to me of your own will. Your sacrifice has become my strength.
Okay, so we see this person who has no problems in accepting unwilling sacrifice that will lead to her own benefits. Basically, this is taking advantage of people. So using people for selfish reasons and not caring about the suffering that is involved in this process. Okay, so she's sacrificing pawns and she feels entitled to do so, even though they might have they might differ from her opinion.
Why are you doing this?
The why question, always bothering.
Because once again, the demons appeared. And once again, God stayed silent.
Okay, there is a reason God stayed silent. Okay, so she represented the good. She represented goodness in the world, but the God she was praying to, the God that supposedly gave the spiritual path and the moral codes and the behavior rules in society, like not to harm, whatever. This God, very much like the Christian God, okay, it was absent. Just like in the Nietzschean story that God is dead, when this God was absent, and this was very much traumatizing for Dominique. Now, let's go back a little bit into the character's story. We know that her parents were dead, were killed by demons, and I think in the moment that her parents died, she felt betrayed by her parents. Okay, she felt that, okay, it's like my parents died. Okay, they left me, so she felt this remorse. Okay, so she wanted somehow revenge against the parent figure that left her alone in the world, scared and suffering. Okay, so she perhaps was traumatized by this thing. Now let's go further. What is the idea of the parent, of the origin? Okay, this is the same idea that can pinpoint the idea of God to the idea of God, meaning that God is there, up there in the sky, but God represents the origin for everything, including people, including Dominique. So God per se is the parent. So she doesn't just rebel against her own parents, she rebels again against the idea of parent, the very source of everything. Why? Because God stayed silent. So she believes that God, the creator of this world, the creator of all the worlds, is not doing the right thing. So she dares to judge God for not intervening in human affairs, or she judges God for letting the demons do their work on people, everything. Okay, so she sees all the suffering, she understands all the suffering in the world, and she blames God for that. I mean, she blames the demons, but why didn't God do anything? Why does God allow all the suffering in the world happen? That's the idea. God stayed silent there, and he cannot accept this.
While his servants were slaughtered mercilessly one by one.
Okay, mercilessly one by one. Okay, so his servants, of course, Dominique right now, she points to the death of her parents who were slaughtered by demons mercilessly, and nobody did anything, not including God, not even God.
So I began to wonder, what if there is no God?
What if there is no God? So in her mind, this is the moment that she questions the very existence of God. So this is a very Nietzschean moment, when Friedrich Nietzsche said that God died, God is dead. Okay, because we cannot see God. It's only a fantasy. What if there is no God? And then there is nobody to blame. Okay, whom are you to blame if there is no God? Okay, so rebellion against the parents who died, rebellion against the Father, the Father of the universe, the Creator of the universe. It seems absurd because there is no God. What if there is no
What
God?
if the Lord we grovel and pray before is a lie, and our faith draws power from some other nameless, unspeakable thing?
And our faith draws power from some other nameless, unspeakable thing. Okay, so It's just like saying that all this prayer, all this magic, everything that we have has a source. All this power has a source. Okay, there is a cause for all this, but it is not the official story. So what is that according to this narrative?
So, I wash my hands of it.
Okay, this is a moment, a very Christian moment. Think about Jesus and Pontius Pilate when the judge who didn't want to sentence Jesus Christ to death, asking him a few things, and then he asked the population, the Jews. He asked the Jews, right? Like, okay, the Hebrews, like, what do you want to do with this man? Because I don't find him sinful, right? He points to Jesus and is like, I don't want to kill him because he doesn't commit, and he didn't commit any crime. And then the population is the one, like everybody, the common folk is the one who says like, oh, kill him, crucify him. So who is Jesus in Dominic's version? Well, it is humanity, because okay, first of all, Jesus on the cross. Okay, so one he has two natures. First of all, he's a human, but second, he's the Son of God. Okay, so he has a divine and a human nature. The human nature can be corrupted, can be killed, not the divine one. But the common folk cannot perceive the divine nature of Jesus when they say kill him. Okay, so they cannot perceive that. So they sentence him to death because they tell that to Pontius Pilate, and Pilate's like, I wash my hands of it. It's your decision, not mine. I'm not responsible. So basically, what Dominic does here is not taking the blame for her decision of betrayal humanity. She betrays humanity, but she doesn't feel responsible for that. She doesn't feel responsible because everything that was told to everybody was a lie. So all this process, who's to blame who and so forth, is in her head. Okay, it's not like there are many other characters. It's only her mind that has these dilemmas, because she's part of the world, but she realizes that there is no divine nature of the world. Okay, so think about Jesus as a metaphor for the entire humanity. So Jesus has human nature and a divine nature. So humanity should have a spark of light too. What Dominic finds out is that there is no spark of light, there is no spark of divinity, of spirituality, like true spirituality in the world. And because of that, she washes her hands of whatever there is to happen, because, well, what is morality and ethics good for if there is no justification, like a divinity to derive it from? So basically, whatever happens, whatever version of reality, just another version, is absurd, yes, but she's been into this existential moment when the absurdity of existence hits her, right? And she says, no, I will just destroy the world for personal benefit. Why not? If there is no God, everything is allowed. That's the idea.
Because God can rot, I decided to seek a higher power. The power to slay gods.
Okay, so because God can rot. I don't see the R from rot there. Okay, because God can rot, I decided to seek a higher power. The power to slay gods. Okay, so from this perspective, we go backwards with our interpretation, right? So God can rot. So if there is a God who created the world, but this God can rot, then there is a higher power behind it. Okay, whatever killed God. Okay, so in her view, if God created the world, gave the good rules for everybody, right? If this is something real, maybe once upon a time God existed, it was like that. But that God died and was killed by a higher power. Higher power means that he wasn't invulnerable, okay? There is a power to slay gods. And she goes there. And she believes that somehow what we call evil in our real world is actually the source of this power. There is a source of power that we condemn to be evil. But actually, that is something higher in hierarchy than what we thought to be. So we have the morality and the ethics here, and we think that this is the highest, the top of behavior, coordinates, or whatever. But beyond that, Dominic says there is the power to slay gods.
Do you realize how many people have died as a result?
Okay? She doesn't care about those people.
They deserve to die because they were weak, and more will follow until I obtain all I desire.
They deserve to die because they were weak. Okay, so survival of the fittest. This is the law of nature in a way, right? Very capitalistic in this sense, right? Savage, savagery that will show us who's the most potent, right? It's not led by morality. It's hominem. How was like that? Homo hominem lupus, right? So every man is a wolf for everybody else. If you're not a wolf, that means you're a sheep. Okay, so if you divide population of the planet between sheep and wolves, she decided to be a wolf. Okay, they deserve to die. Like the wolves things the same about the sheep. They are weak. They deserve to die. She feels entitled to have the power to kill everything and everybody because she can. Why? Because she has the power. If I have the power and somebody else doesn't have it, it's going to be a match and I'm going to win. If you have the power and I will lose, that's because you are more powerful. This is something that we may find to be somehow closer associated to the idea of morality, but it's not exactly morality. I would say it's the opposite of morality, but it has a sense of ethics. I mean, there is a rule. There is a rule. The stronger wins. The stronger wins the game. And that's fair play. And there are no rules in the game. So, the most cunning, the most strong, like in love and war, there are no rules. Until I obtain all I desire. Now, we will come back here to the idea of since I obtain, I want, all I desire. It is I who wants, and it is the desire. When I think about desire and attachment as the fuel that in Buddhism, for example, they are one of the pillars that fuel suffering. Okay, they create bad karma. So desire leads you to action that is misinterpreted by the blind or the ego, or like who you think you are, but you are deluded to be this ego, right? And you are also deluded to think that if you gain something, if you grasp something, you'll be happy, right? And more will follow until I obtain all I desire. So Dominique, she thinks she might find some kind of salvation in this power, in this thing that she desires. Okay, what does she desire?
This whole mess wasn't enough for you?
Okay, not enough, no.
If the last summoning had been enough, I wouldn't have had to bring you here. You're after a more powerful demon. Sheeple's crystal wasn't enough to summon it, so you needed mine instead. Smart girl. I like that. But your crystal was too clean, too pure. So I made sure you would obtain shards and acclimate yourself to demonic power. Then Gremory could possess you after the battle with Jeeble had worn you down.
Okay, so huge conspiracy here.
If Zangetsu hadn't betrayed me.
Now, there's another flaw in Dominique's behavior. She's a betrayer, but she cannot stand those who betray her. Now, you can see that from an equanimity point of view, this is something that doesn't stand. Like, okay, it's not fair play at all. If you're a betrayer, right? If you're the one who betrays people on purpose to fulfill your tasks in, your aims, you wouldn't be. You shouldn't at least be surprised or infuriated or angry because somebody else will betray you, because they're just serving you the same type of medicine that you serve others, right? And she's not like that. She cannot see a common point of equanimity or equality with other people, right? So there is no common land. This is the land of the ego, the land of I. I'm more important than the world. The world can perish because I am more important, because I want that, right? So whoever betrays me is a sinner. If I betray them, that's because they deserve it, because they were weak, right? So she should think about and recognize the fact that she was weak according to her points of view, right? If whoever she betrayed and whoever she tricked were weak to be betrayed, she was also weak because Zangetsu betrayed her, right? And she should just accept this. But she's infuriated, right? She cannot accept to be betrayed. She cannot accept the taste of her own medicine. So she's not fair play.
Doing the right thing isn't a betrayal.
And then again.
You know what? I never expected to be put in a corner like this. You leave me no choice but to play my final card.
Okie dokie. That's Liber Logaeth.
I will use my crystal and the Liber Logaeth to summon Baal, the ultimate demon.
Okay, so we are here at the moment that we have to fight Baal. Who's Baal? What's Liber Logaeth? And okay, crystals, we don't go there, but Baal and Liber Logaeth. Okay, so let's search this one. Apocalypse. Okay, Liber Logaeth. I think there was a Liber Logaeth, meaning we go here. The Liber Logaeth, also known as Liber Logaeth or Liber Logaeth, is a real-life text authored by the 16th century occultist Edward Kelly. It is a collection of folios that outlines Enochian script and is part of a collection of related Enochian occult texts authored by Kelly and his partner John Dee. Now, this John Dee is very interesting. She's a peculiar character. Okay, we will go to Enochian magic because Liber Logaeth is about that. Enochian magic is a system of ceremonial magic based on the evocation and commanding of various spirits. So it is a summoning book, which really existed in reality. Okay, so you do this and that, say something, and pop, some devils appear, and maybe they will fulfill your wishes, or, well, maybe not. This is dangerous. Okay, it is based on the 16th century writings of John Dee and Edward Kelly, who claimed that their information, including the revealed Enochian language, was delivered to them directly by various angels. These journals contain the Enochian script and the tables of correspondences that accompanied. Dee and Kelly believed that visions gave them access to secrets contained within the Book of Enoch. Enoch. Okay. This Liber Logaeth exists. It is used in Hermetic, Golden Dawn, Hermetic Order, and so forth. We won't turn there, but it is something that some video games get inspiration from. All these spiritual cults or beliefs, and when I say this, I don't mean anything. What I'm saying is that we have Liber Logaeth as a source of inspiration for the apocalyptic narratives, because somehow John Dee, the author of the book, also had Gnostic and apocalyptic beliefs himself. So he wanted to bring the apocalypse, the end of history, to the world, because he believed this is something that must be done. It is better if it's done earlier, because he will reduce the suffering of the world until then, right? Because otherwise, like humans separated from God, they are bound to suffering. Everything that, in sinful lives. So bringing the apocalypse faster will prevent people to sin. That's one of the ideas that get justify the people who wanted to, like the some of the Gnostic sects, not everything, that believe that it's better to bring the eschaton, or the end of the world, here on earth sooner. Okay, so this idea of bringing the end of the world was justified because of the in Revelation. After that, there'll be a new paradise, a heavenly Jerusalem that will sprout on earth, and this heavenly Jerusalem will be perfect. Everybody will be given new bodies, uncorrupted bodies. Hence alchemy, right? The connection with alchemy, and everybody will live forever equally. So it's something that later on from Christianism somehow was translated into the idea of anarchy. Okay, so because it's this commune that has no hierarchy, because everybody is the same, immortal, happy, healthy, whatever, expressing himself or herself for eternity in a blissful way, happy way, and so forth. It's like whatever you can project there in the unknown of the paradise is going to be something closer to the justification of such minds like John Dee's, who believe that this is the meaning of history, like the meaning of some people to bring the apocalypse into the world faster. Okay, Liber Logaeth exists, and it is employed in the narrative of Bloodstained as well. I will use my crystal and the Liber Logaeth to summon Baal. Liber Logaeth is a book of summoning. In Enoch or Enoch, Enoch is a character from the Bible. Okay, supposedly he spoke with angels, therefore he knew their language, and John Dee and his partner, they wrote this book, which they claim has the language that controls the communication with spirits and angels. But Baal ain't no angel. Okay, who is Baal? Baal is something that everybody, or almost everybody, should know about superficially. What is Baal? Baal mythology. And there we have Baal is a demon described in demonological grimoires such as the Lesser Key of Solomon and the Pseudo-Monarchia Demonum, where he is the first spirit mentioned, and also described in the dictionary Infernal. He is described as a hoarsely voiced with the power to make men invisible and ruling over 6 legions of demons. Ooh. The Lesser Key of Solomon describes him as appearing in the form of a cat, toad, man, some combination thereof, or other diverse shapes, while the Pseudo-Monarchia Demonum and the Dictionary Infernal state that he appears with the heads of a cat, toad, and human simultaneously. Calling the plans, he wonders if Baal is the same as the Canaanite deity Baal. Okay, reasonable conclusion. So it might be the same in the Livre des Espirites. Baal is described as a king ruled by Orion, still possessing the power of invisibility, as well as the power to garner the favors of others, but ruling over only 6 legions of demons. The Liber Officium Spiritum features Baal or Bo, again a hoarsely voiced king with not only powers of invisibility but also sciences and love. Okay, so in the Grand Grimoire, Baal is listed as a subordinate of Lucifuge Rofocale. According to Rudd, Baal is supposed to, whatever that is, angel Shemha Forash, angel Vehuya. Okay, there are many interpretations here. Okay, it might be that this Baal has something to do with the Canaanite deity Baal. Okay, was a title and honorific meaning owner, lord in Northwest Semitic language spoken in the Levant during antiquity. From its use among people, it came to be applied to gods. Scholars previously associated theonym with solar cults and with a variety of unrelated patron deities, but inscriptions have shown that the name Baal, was particularly associated with the storm and fertility god Hadad and his local manifestation. Okay, the Hebrew Bible includes use of the term in reference to various Levantine deities, often with applications towards Hadad, who was described as a false god. That use was taken over into Christianity and Islam, sometimes under the form Beelzebub in demonology. Okay, so demonology. So it might be any of this, but the source can be either Baal or Baal, and yeah, that's the idea. Dominique wants to summon Baal, the ultimate demon. Okay, but it might just be the idea of a god. Let's see. Okay, I think it's time to fight.
Do you realize what will happen to you?
Do you realize what will happen to you? Do you realize, Dominique?
Do you? You don't. So I'll tell you. There's a reason Jebel survived 10 years ago. What does he have to do with this? It was in his blood. An exorcist, like me.
Okay, so she's an exorcist who's possessed by a demon.
Our blood suppressed the crystal corruption and effectively spared his life. And now I have surpassed him. I command the crystal through Enochian script.
In Nokian script, as I said, the language to speak with angels, or in this case with humans, and bring them supposedly onto Earth and under her power, if she can handle that.
No demon is too powerful for me to summon, even if I cannot keep it here forever.
Okay, so she recognizes that she's not that powerful to summon and control evil forces like Baal. But she does that because she has no turning back point. Okay, so she cannot return from her corruption.
But the process is slow, because I can see the summoning isn't complete. Do you really think you can stop me before then? Oh yes, I do. You don't understand what power is for. You wield it stupidly, arrogantly, and now you will pay the price.
Okay, you don't understand what power is for. So she's both stupid, ignorant, right? She's ignorant, she lacks the knowledge, she lacks the capacity to understand that power is not for selfish play. Okay, so it's like this narcissistic idea that you'll just use the power to benefit yourself is something that is like a misunderstanding, or this is the corruption of your ignorance, and it's a combination between arrogance and ignorance. Okay, stupidly, this means ignorance, lack of knowledge. Arrogantly is the idea that you actually know. Okay, you think you are better than everybody, you think you're better than the rest, you think that you can do more, you think that you're entitled to, right? And everybody else deserves to listen and to gain anything that you decide, because like you believe you're God, you believe that you have the right to do everything, like anything, and then you want the power to fulfill that task. Well, let's see what happens. Okay, I forgot how to play the game, but I think I can still remember some. Oh my god, what's going on there? Oh my god, I forgot the mechanics of the game. Damn. I hope that. Okay, so what was that? Equipment, shards, inventory. Da-da-da-da. Let's check the control screen. View controls. Come on. Should have done this before. Can't believe it. It's been a few months and I totally forgot the controls. Anyway, on just space, I know that is jumping. I did that a few times.
Leave me no choice. Fail. I
Okay.
summon thee to my side.
Okay, so we have Baal here. As we can see, Baal is red, and it looks like all these demons that were frozen there in Cochidos, right, in the frozen lake. Okay, we will try to consume a few potions, and that's because we lack life. I hope I'll be able to kill Baal without losing lives. If not, well, evil won. And okay, we have blood still. What was that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, E, F. Should be these things.
Repent. Bloodsteel.
Not blood still. Okay, not that one. Dun, 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 dun. Shards. Okay. Blood steel. Accelerator. Move quickly. That's. Good healing there. No, that's something that I don't want now. I should have done this when I finished the game first time or the second time. Well, I still knew the commands, the commands of the game. Okay, so I'm gonna.
Bloodstained! Bloodstained!
Okay, so yes, that's the button. There are a series of commands here, and they're not easy to master, and it's gonna take a while until I see them again and I master them again. Okay, let's see if I can put some ether into my veins. Okay. Come on. Yes. Okay. Thank you. I didn't forget about that one.
No choice.
Okay. So basically, Gremory died. That was one of the demons. I remember invert, that's a good thing. Okay, we did it! Finally, yes. Even without knowing the commands. Yeah, it's easy. I'm on the easy mode. Ta-da!
Dominique. She could have done so much good, but...
Well, like Narcissus, like Lucifer, she's guilty of, rebelling against the Word or God. So she chose the dark path, the dark path of the demons. But
I know.
no words needed.
Wait. The Liber Logaeth.
Join this book.
The book that started it all. What are you going to do with it?
The same thing the Master was trying to do. Before he died, he inscribed Enochian letters onto each of the castle's structural weaknesses. Now, I will use the book to perform a rite here at the heart of the castle.
Undo the
The
summoning.
rite will activate the Enochian script and send the castle and demons back from whence they came.
So that's what Alfred was trying to accomplish.
We need to begin. Stand back, Miriam.
So, we spoke about the heavenly Jerusalem that will come up during the apocalypse. Well, that's it. That was the opposite of that idea, that castle. Okay, so it was
It's
uh, hell on earth structured somehow, gothic.
Yes. You've made the world right again.
Okay, so saving the world means postponing the apocalypse according to this narrative. So the danger of the apocalypse, the danger of ending the world, is somehow similar or seen similar to a mistake in this narrative, which is the common narrative that the Catholic Church or the Church, the Christian Church, had against those cults like the Gnostics and I forgot exactly the name of. There are a few sects that actually try to do that. Bogomils, I think, but maybe I'm wrong. Anyway, what I'm saying now is that the official church statement was something like, okay, we need to let God to choose when to end the world. We are not God, so we do not have the right to speed up the process of history. So in such cases, heroes like Miriam in this narrative, for example, in the narrative of Bloodstained, the video game, are the heroes who save the world as it is from the process of destruction, from turning Earth into hell, which is not exactly the same with turning Earth into a divine place, a new version of the paradise. Okay, so you've made the world right again. You saved humanity as it is, with the good and the bad.
not without sacrifice. Jebel, Alfred, Zangetsu.
May them rest in peace.
Jibel's fate was already sealed. There was nothing you could have done. And the Master and Zangetsu made their own choices. They fought gladly and proudly for what they believed in. Lives like theirs deserve to be celebrated.
True. And demons still remain in this world. We can grieve later, after finishing the last of them off.
That reminds me. The Master took note of how I was forestalling your corruption and suggested some improvements. I think I might be able to stop the crystal from overtaking you permanently.
Really?
I can't make any promises, but yes, I think.
So, Miriam is a person that was abused, first of all. As you can see, she's full of tattoos. Well, let's remember that in Asian culture, having tattoos is not a good omen. Okay, so I know in Western world everybody wears tattoos, but as a girl in Western countries, it's totally fine. But if you go to Asia, having tattoos might have a little bit of, especially in parts like China or other places, like tattooed girls are not well seen. Okay, so there are people who use tattoos in order to, to show that they actually belong to a certain type of group. Okay, so in this case, she was abused. Miriam, she's because the game is Japanese, right? Miriam, the character, was abused by those alchemists, and she was part of an experiment. She was a guinea pig, literally. But you may think that this is a metaphor for any type of abuse that can happen to a child or an innocent being. Okay, so an abused person finds a way to save the world, because the abuse that's done towards her and others like her was actually the opening door towards the abuse upon the whole humanity. And when she cures humanity from this demonic disease, basically she cures the trauma in the whole human realm. And as a reward, the universe, or the universe, humans, they bring from people like Johannes, they bring a ray of hope, because she supposedly was doomed to die because of this trauma she had. the corruption like a disease. She was transforming into a crystal in our case. So, as a reflection of this cure that she brought upon the world, she also gets a cure for her own personal trauma. You may also think that actually what she did was a journey into the trauma in itself. So basically, Miriam saved the world and saved herself in the same time, obviously. Okay, so, but in what sense she saved the world and saved herself? The way we view the world is only our personal point of view. Okay, so when we cure our trauma, maybe we change the picture of the world that we have. And maybe this is a story of a certain somebody who cured her own trauma of abuse that she had.
Well, thank you, Johannes.
Well, thank you for that.
You're very welcome. Come on, let's go home.
Okay, let's go
All
home.
right.
So, we're back home. It's just like reaching paradise in a way, right? Because this is what home is. It's the source of origin we are from. Okay, also the source where we can rest, we can trust. Home is a place for rest, happiness, and also the place of origin, just like God. So in a way, we have this spiritual outcome that is subtly inserted there. So, no need to fight anymore. Okay, so give up fighting because the work was done. The struggle is complete. Okay, we finished the game, so we can switch on to what? Okay, we don't go to the title screen anymore. Okay, that was it for today. Thank you for watching. I'll just leave it like that. I'm gonna talk while seeing the names of those who work for this game roll on the screen. So I will try to prepare and do this more often. Maybe I will upgrade my skills for posting stuff like that, and maybe I'll get better at it. I don't know. I'm trying to. I also created a Patreon page, and whoever feels that this is something worth supporting is free to just throw some coins there. I'll try to do this more often, as I said, and just if you liked it, hit the like button and whatever you need to do to show that to people like me. Okay, so thanks for watching, and see you in the future. Thank you. Bye. Okay, I'm gonna hit the bye-bye button.